Okay, my name is Gladys, and I'm a very, very excited distributor. I'm here on behalf of our PT, Judy, representing the East African Eagles. How did I get myself here? By training, I'm a teacher. I've also worked in the bank. And one day I was invited to a meeting like this. And I was told, personally, I came to make money. I did not come to do anything to do with health or anything. I just came to make money. And I was told that if I do this business seriously, I would make some money. I needed extra income. I was a young mother. My firstborn was 9 years that time. Now she's 27. My secondborn was 3. Now she is 21 years old. And I needed extra income. That was a fact. So me, I came to do business. But on my second meeting, I remember vividly that Anyang Nyong's wife, Mrs. Nyongo, she did a presentation on health that changed my way of thinking and removed my ignorance as a mother. And I can say for sure that was a God, it was God's way of opening me up as a mother, because I was doing all the wrong things that sometimes mothers do in the kitchen. And I remember that opening me up very well. And I committed myself to want to learn more and do better things. And so that's how I started. And the rest is history. It's been a cool 18 good years of having a lot of interaction with health and wellness and empowering many people, starting with my family. So what can I say? My screen is having a challenge. So I'm going to, it will start where I did not want, but that's where I will start. We are talking about bone and health. But before we go there, I would want to start with the health generally, because those things don't just happen. They are triggered by something in our system. So when we're talking about health and wellness, we need to know that we need to have a health status where we are vibrant throughout our life. We would want to lose maybe our vibrancy in the 90s. There are people who are healthy into their 90s, like Charles Njonjo. He's 100 plus. He stopped driving at the age of 96 or thereabout. So that's the kind of life we want to hear we can live, because those bonus years, everybody wants to get them from God. And so we need to work on it. It can't come automatically. You have to work towards it. It's something that you really have to work on. So when we talk about your status of health status, we want to live all the way vibrant into those years we've talked about. But unfortunately, because of the way the world is, things have changed. And because of that, actually our health has gone down like that, where you find where you find if you're not careful, you go down like that. Between 0 years to 20 years, you're vibrant. Some people lose their vibrancy in 15 years. Nasikia mtoto akikwambia, "Mom, nimechoka sana." They're only 15 or 16, and they have not gone to the garden to dig anything. But they wake up and they are tired, even to wash utensils. That's a signal that all is not well with that child. Then on to when we are working, we get home, we are very tired, we wake up when we don't feel like waking up. Sometimes if you're traveling, you sleep that short distance, and it becomes quite a challenge. And then eventually, people actually get sick. But what are the things that cause that? One of the things that may cause that is that, one, your stress levels could be up. When you have your stress levels going up, they affect the immunity and the proper functioning of the body. I don't care what it is you're going through, whether it is marital stress, whether it is finances, you have to find a balance to be happy, at least so that the stress can be managed. That is one of the things we really have to work on, because everybody gets stress, but please don't let it go to the levels where it affects your body. And now beyond the stress, you have other challenges of sicknesses. Then of course, sleep. When you deprive your body of sleep, that's another challenge. Very many people who work in the corporate world and they have big positions, many of them don't sleep as they should. And even fathers, you find some fathers, they come home at midnight, 4, you're up going, or maybe you work in the market and you're not sleeping well. That is not good. Your body needs sleep, proper sleep. Exercise. I know we might be lazy about exercise, but if you're not doing anything, at least walk 30 minutes to an hour every single day. Take a walk. And if you're walking, make sure you're walking or you're exercising where there's no toxins around you, so that even the oxygen you're breathing will be more helpful than carbon monoxide. That's something you have to work on. Then weight. If you've started adding weight for whatever reason, it could be hormonal, it could be stress eating, it could be that maybe you're not exercising too much, you need to watch it, you know? And so, because those things, they bring diseases like BP, cholesterol, strokes, heart attacks, arthritis, and all the other bone diseases we'll look at, and high spikes of sugar. So we need to work on that. Very, very importantly, we had looked at this status. Sorry, I had to go back a little bit to explain why it goes down. So what are the dietary facts that the scientists are saying out there? When I had this the first day, I knew, bas, I'm in these statistics. 95% of the population in the world today is eating food that lacks nutrients, including the people in the village. Why do I say so? Sometimes we are supposed to eat whole grains, but you find a farmer will plant maize or wheat or rice, go and sell all of it, and then come to the shop to buy the refined unga. What have I done as a farmer? I've deprived myself of good nutrients from that product that would have helped my body. So many times, one way or another, we are lacking nutrients. We'll see how. Then 75% deliberately consume incorrect foods. There are people who will eat chips throughout. There are people who will take soda every day. There are people who will take a lot of salt. Please never have salt in your table. Learn not to keep adding salt in the foods you eat. And sugar, the sugar should not be at the table. You know, that availability of those things that are not good, smoking and all the other things that can affect our bodies. Now, according to the World Health Organization, the National Cancer Institute, the diabetes institutions, and Neolife discovered this in 1958. Actually, way before that, because a research had been done between 1946 to 1958. And they realized that one of the biggest problems is people are not physically active. They became couch potatoes. You go to the office, you sit. Of course, you went in a ride, whether it was a matatu or your car, you are seated. You walk a little bit to your office, you sit. You even find a lift. You find a lift and stairs. Of course, you take the lift, you go sit. At tea time, you are seated eating something. At lunchtime, you are seated eating something. In the evening, you go back, you're so tired, you just slouch on the couch and you rest again. And that happens day in, day out. That's not good. You need to be active and go outdoors, even weekends. Take a hike, take a walk. Even that's how you bond with your family more, if you can take family walks. Then weight management. We need to work on our BMI. It is never easy, but it can be done. That's all I can say. It is possible to manage your weight so that it doesn't go beyond, especially the obese, where you get the 30 in the index of the BMI. It is possible if you put your mind to it and you get an accountability partner and you work that journey. It's possible. Then whole grains. Whole grains are supposed to be eaten at least 3 times in a day. They're the ones that give you energy. They're the ones that have vitamins that will repair your bones, that will take care of every other organ of your body. As we talk about bones, remember we talk from head to toe also. You need to take care of every part of your body. So the whole grains are very critical because they have the germ, they have the endosperm, the white part, and they have the fiber. When you eat food that is whole grain, it means that even the white part of it, too much sugar is not emitted into your bloodstream because the fiber will delay the injection of that sugar going very fast to your blood. When sugar goes very much to your blood, that's why even some people add weight because the body has to work on it. And when you have weight, your joints will have a problem. Or when you're not eating foods with nutrients, they lack the calcium, the magnesium, the vitamin D that you need to have for your structure. So that's very important. Fruits and vegetables are good also because they also have the ability of having a lot of fiber that will fight off the excess fats, the excess sugars in our body. And they'll also help in elimination, in detoxifying, because some of the joint issues we have as a result of toxins that we have. Then proteins, we should not eat a lot of animal protein, especially in the modern day. During our grandparents' time, they would eat meat and they would take herbs. And those herbs would counteract the effects of maybe that meat. And they never used to do a lot of nyama choma per se. Maybe they would just boil and boil and boil, and they eat boiled food, boiled meat. But in our case, it's not the case. We do a lot of frying, we do a lot of nyama choma. And some of those emissions, they actually are deposited in our joints. And when they are deposited in our joints, we do have challenges there. So eating too much animal protein, not too good. We need to do much more of the plant-based because that way you are lighter and you don't give your body a lot of pressure when it comes to holding you. Then we need a lot of fats and sugar, little fats and sugars. They have their own challenges. Like sugar is a big no. Given a chance, we all need to stop taking sugar. But we cannot, so we need to reduce. Because sugar eats your bone mass. Sugar in the soft drinks. Sugar in its sugar form itself. Everything we are drinking must be put sugar. That sugar will eat into your bone mass and your bone becomes brittle. It becomes weak. And that is not good. You can do an experiment of taking, I hear if you take Coca-Cola, you put it in a glass and then you put a bone for chicken there for maybe a week or two, it will just break so fast. It eats into the bone mass. So that is very critical, and that's why we must think about that. Unfortunately, we've inverted this pyramid upside down for many reasons, because we are in a situation where we live fast life. We are in the estates, we are in the towns. So the best thing you can grab is what is in the supermarket or next door. You don't want to go to the posho mill. They may not even be available where you are. Or sometimes you are like, this unga doesn't last as much as it should last. You know, all sorts of reasons. A lot of sugar, a lot of fats, a lot of animal protein. You know, animal protein, fats, and sugars. These two categories of food, they make the body environment acidic. And an acidic environment is definitely not good for your structure. And when your structure is not good, it will affect the nerves. Because the bones, the nerves are very closely related, very close. And so these two are very crazy. The fats, the sugars, and the too much animal protein. So what Neolife did, when they understood this pyramid, way back, they actually realized we are in an era we need to do something we call supplementation. Where you see your gap is, because you can clearly tell where your gap is. Clearly, everybody here can tell where their gap is. You are able to come and supplement to repair the damage already done, to put the gap that has already been created, but above all, you know, to make sure that you start learning how to eat well. What are you going to eliminate? What are you going to put more of? What will I remove from the fridge? What am I going to add more of? That is very, very important. So there are many causes of joint and bone issues in our health. One could be injury. Genuinely, you fell down, you got injured, you got an accident. And when that happens, it means you must do something about it over and above the normal to repair the damage while the injury is fresh, so that you heal, and you heal in a more permanent way than assuming that you will just heal. So injuries are there. The other thing could be overexercise. Some people overexercise. And when you do that, that will cause oxidation in the body, and it will also cause damage in the body. Very crazy there. Then the other diseases that could affect your bones, like leukemia. You know, leukemia has something to do with the cancer of the bone marrow. So those could be causes of challenges. And many cancers actually end up affecting the bones as well. Even prostate cancer, you find that it really affects the backbone for men, and they have a lot of pain because of that. And then and other diseases like lupus. Mineral deficiency. Clearly, we may be having deficiency. One could be because of how we farm. We are farming using fertilizer in the same piece of land, year in, year out, and it is not getting the manure that used to be there in the olden days. And the crop rotation that would make this plant deposit this, then go pick from the other one, deposit this other place, that crop rotation used to be very, very important. So that we could be having a lot of deficiency from the foods we are eating, even as much as we think we are eating balanced diet. Another one could be infections. They can affect the quality of your joints and even the bone structure. Osteoporosis, you know, the thinning of the bone, you know, that could be a problem. Overweight is a problem because there's too much pressure on your back. There's too much pressure on your joints and the ankles. That could be a problem. Overweight, we've seen that. And then the other one could be the thyroid. When you have a challenge with your thyroid, it can affect the functioning of your bones and your joints. So even as we talk to our customers, we need to know that those joints can affect that. So number one, how do you prevent that? You need to maintain a healthy exercise plan. Why do we insist on exercising? It's because when you exercise, your bones become stronger. And when they are strong, they will take you longer in your olden days. But remember, when you're exercising, you must eat well as well. So you don't just exercise and you're having deficiencies. That in itself can be a problem. Then you need to have enough calcium and vitamin D. Go and do your research. If you're not having enough, a woman needs about 1,500 mg of calcium per day. A man needs about 1,200 mg. Many of us hardly gets 500 mgs per day. And for calcium to be absorbed, vitamin D must be available. And that is why you're seeing calcium must come with the D3, because it enhances that absorption. And also it must have magnesium. Magnesium, because when you use calcium in the body, calcium works on giving that, when you're using your arm and you outstretch it, calcium is needed. When you retract it, magnesium is needed. So there has to be that mix of 2 to 1. You may not understand that, but for every 2 calciums, you need a magnesium and you need vitamin D. Then you need to take a healthy diet. We've talked about that. Avoid smoking. Smoking will put toxins in your body that will affect the joint areas. And of course, one of the things you need to do is take nutritional supplements. Why? Already, if you have challenges with your bones, it means there's a very big deficiency that needs to be covered. So that deficiency will be helped by the supplements. Then you come above board, and then you continue eating well. And once in a while, you keep putting that supplementation, because we've seen there are gaps in our diet. So what did Neolife do? Neolife decided that they will be part of doing what we are supposed to do to reverse the trends. Other than the disease we are talking about, joint issues, the other challenges we need to think about: heart disease, cancer, diabetes, stroke, respiratory diseases, obesity, all those things, they need to be taken care of. We have a scientific advisory board. So we have scientists who do a lot of research, and they take sometimes years to actually formulate anything. So even when you look at our receipt book, behind, they give a guarantee that they are using the highest quality ingredients that are from human chain that can be absorbed by the human body. They do not use materials that are not meant to be eaten the way God intended. So because of this gap, the first product I would want to encourage is the 3NN. Even before we go to the bones, how are your cells functioning? Because everything is about cells. And remember, your bones, at the bone marrow, is where your red blood cells are formed. So you also need good bones, good cells. So if you have been having a deficit of the whole grain oils, which are called lipids and sterols, then it means most likely your cell is affected and it is unhealthy. And these cells are about 73 trillion plus. So on a daily basis, you must make sure, and that's why we are supposed to eat 3 meals that have whole grains. You're supposed to make sure that these cells have the oils regularly, morning, lunchtime, evening, so that your cells are at their best and the repair is done very well. The lubrication is at its best, so that nutrition can come in and the waste can go out the way you are seeing in the healthy cell. But many of us, we could be having our cells already not at their best. So that's where it all begins. Before we even think about the bones, it begins at the 3NN level, where you correct this challenge. Then you have healthy cell. You continue taking 3NN for as long as. There's nothing wrong with that, because it is giving you what you are lacking when you eat refined foods. So people will ask, for how long can I take 3NN? Please, can you budget for it the way you budget for sugar, the way you budget for bluebird, the way you budget for meat? Because those oils are needed on a daily basis. When you take your 3NN, even when you take now the other supplements and the food, they are absorbed better and the toxins are removed better. They will not hurt your body. So that is very, very critical starting there. Then you also need to have your immunity up, because when your immunity is not up, it will affect even your structure of the bones, not to mention other diseases. So the immunity should be very up. That should come from the fruits and the vegetables, and that's where we have carotenoid complex. Moving away from the joints, carotenoid will benefit you into anti-aging. It will be good for your skin. You will age better. It will be good for your skin. It's good for the eyes. People with eye problems, cataract, eye challenges, carotenoid is very important for that. It will keep your cancer cells without duplicating faster. It will actually eat cancer cells as long as the tumor is not too much to the tune of stage 4. But it will really help, even when it's at stage 4, it will really help in taming the development of cancer cells in the body. Not to mention right now, if the virus comes close to you and your immunity is higher when you're taking carotenoid, the virus is not going to take you down. If anything, you'll handle it and you get it out. Remember, as we speak about this, we are being told that once you get COVID, it is going to affect some things in your body that might take longer. The brain and some other areas of the body, they also get affected. So that is something you need to understand there. So it's not just the bones, you need to think beyond that. Then of course, the omega is very critical for people with joint problems, because this is the one that will come and lubricate the oils that have been depleted at the joints. Every joint, whether it's at the fingers, whether it's at the backbone, anywhere the body moves and turns, there has to be a joint that moves up and down like that. And that area needs omega oils. Those omega oils are very critical. Now, you might ask, why is it that the older generation in the village, they are having a lot of joint problems? Simple. We eat a lot of vegetables from the farms. Those vegetables have their own acid. So if the acid that is in the vegetables is higher than the omega-3 in your body, that acid eats the joint area. And when that joint area is eaten, then you start experiencing pain. There's inflammation. And that is why you must always make sure your omega-3 level is high, so that the vegetables we are eating, that acid, the effect is counteracted. I hope I've answered something there. Because we might be wondering, why are our parents having arthritis and they have been eating greens all their lives? They needed to eat greens and eat fish. You know, fish is very critical in our eating, but many communities ignore the fish element that has omega-3, not cod liver, not D, the omega oils. Then it's also good for the brain, and it's also good for the circulatory system. The other benefits, and for men, for their prostate, and many other benefits that I will not go into. We also need a balance of the vitamins and minerals. Now, this is a big one because our structure is made of minerals, starting with calcium, magnesium, and other vitamins. We've seen vitamin D is very critical, and even vitamin C is very critical for the absorption of calcium. So those vitamins work hand in hand, and you need them every day. The 23, actually there are more than 23, but you need proper vitamins and minerals throughout the day, all of them. So when you eat a meal that has maybe chips and soda, what minerals did you give your body? In the evening, you ate ugali and maybe just some greens. There has to be a deficit there. So that is why it is very important, and also to make sure you have iron where you see there are deficiencies of that. So there's a Pro-Vitality as a base. Why this was done like that is because now when you have the Pro-Vitality, it will take care of the entire system from head to toe, the many systems that are in the body. And then on top of that, now we go to the specific, the bones. We go to the specifics where we have, we have now the other three that come now specifically to work on the joint areas. What will calcium do? Calcium will increase your bone mass and your bones will be strong. Where there was osteoporosis, where there was weakness, it will come and firm that up. So if you have an injury, like you broke a bone or you had a fracture, you need calcium urgently. If you have a child in your stomach, a pregnant mother, they need calcium. Because remember, you are sharing calcium with the baby. And for your teeth, we all have teeth. And one of the things I've realized, we ignore the dental formula a lot. Wait until you lose 2 or 3 teeth. That's when you realize how difficult it can be even to eat food. And you know, when you're eating, you're supposed to chew your food properly, not just swallow, because your teeth are not crashing nicely. So calcium is very good for the teeth, it's very good for the bones, it's very good for the heart. The heart is a muscle. So it's also very good for where you have muscles. If you have children who are sporty, or you're a sports person, you run a lot, you exercise a lot, you need enough calcium for that matter. Then, so it will even help with the nerves. Remember, the bones, the muscles, the nerves, they work in coordination. So you also want all those areas working very, very well. The other thing you need, I think I talked about the heartbeat. So even people with heart conditions, as you give them the other program, they also, once in a while, they need to do their CalMag there. Then the omega, I talked about it, the lubrication part of it, where you need that fluid to make sure the bones are not eating each other. And where there's dryness of that, omega-3 will come and do that. And then where there's inflammation, you know, when there's inflammation, there's soreness, there's redness. So that happens in between the bones. So omega-3 comes and lubricates that area. And in exactly 2 weeks, it reduces inflammation by 68%, especially when you are taking the full dose of 3 of them in a time. So if you have someone who has a challenge with the bones, as they start out, encourage them to take the 3 as required. They could reduce later on, but they need to work on that inflammation very fast because of the pain. Then the other thing is the full motion. Full motion has something we call glucosamine. It has something we call boron. It has zinc, and one other thing I've forgotten. So that combination of those minerals plus the glucosamine is very important for the bones. Very, very critical for the bones. So what will happen is where the cartilage has been interfered with, either because of aging, because of an injury, or because of our eating habits, once the cartilage gets finished in between the bones, now it comes and repairs that damage, returns back the cartilage. And remember, please, this is not something that will happen overnight. If you already have a damage that has happened over the years, you have to be very patient when it comes to the repair. So if you have a patient who is having challenges with their bones and joints, you need to tell them to be patient with you to go through this program, plus eating well, eliminating the elements we've seen that affect the bones, like the sodas and the sugars. They start eliminating that so that the repair can be good in the next 6 months, and they continue living a healthy life so that they have less aches and pains. So that is very, very important. Another product that could be very exciting, I know we've talked about Pro-Vitality and these 3, is a product called Daily Vitality. Why do we include Daily Vitality in the bone health? There are some customers who will tell you, I'm having a lot of heaviness on my shoulders, and I'm feeling very bad on my back. It's terrible. That person needs to start with a Daily Vitality also. Because the Daily Vitality is packed with a lot of vitamins, a lot of minerals. It has vitamin B for the nerves and relaxation. Because people with stress, most of the stress goes to the shoulders, the upper back, and the lower back. So Daily Vitality will sort you out very well, because vitamin C is very good for the circulatory system, which is part of supplying the bone health. It has vitamin B, which is very good for reducing stress and for nerves. It has multimineral and alfalfa. Multimineral and alfalfa has calcium, magnesium, and other minerals. It has vitamin E, and it has a product called Formula 4. Formula 4 is a combination of treanin and the multi we saw that has the 23 vitamins and minerals. So you find there's that combination that really comes and works very well when you use Daily Vitality Pack. Then the other thing is weight loss. If somebody has weight, then clearly they need to work on cutting that weight. A disclaimer here, weight loss does not happen overnight. So even when you're working on weight, somebody has to be very patient, because a good weight loss takes between 3 months to 6 months to a year, gradually going down like that. So the weight loss program will trigger your body to move into a fat burning mode, and that will enhance you to burn what is already excess in the body, and your joints will feel lighter, and then you continue like that. So it gets to a point where now you maintain or you continue doing it naturally once you've attained at least the kilos you wanted to shed initially as a beginning. Or you can continue even with the shake for a long time so that it can replace one of your meals, because it has fiber. It has something that will make your body have a faster metabolism. So these are good products. And the tea. The tea is important when you're on a weight loss because many times you feel hunger pangs, you know? And when you're on those hunger pangs, you need something to give you a kick. And it's at this point when people get hungry, they run for mandazi, samosas, because you need something urgently that has sugar to spike you up. So the tea will help you, give you that energy, and so you will not run for those things. And so in between the day, you take the tea morning, I mean at 10 and maybe at 4, in between, and with a healthy snack. So it keeps you energetic. And then of course the Neo Life shake, you can decide to do 2 meals. You do 2 meals of shake or even 1, and then you eat 1 meal or 2 meals, but make sure you are eating more of the vegetables and the plant protein and little of the lean meat and things like eggs. You reduce on that. So I'm done with that. And what I'm going to do now, I'm going to talk a little bit, just a little bit, about, just a minute, there's something I need to do before I continue. So I'm going to talk a little bit about how to marry that with business, yeah? So as a distributor, once you come in, remember, when you come in there as a distributor, the first thing you need to do is to learn to be a good user. You start with yourself. Why do you want other people to be healthy when your health is not at its best? So it begins with you. Even if you don't have money, like me. When I started 18 years, I couldn't afford the small omega-3. It used to be 30 capsules. It was 500. I couldn't afford it. But I remember them telling me, it is okay, Gladys. Learn a lot about the products, sell them, and whenever you have your profit, spare part of that money to buy yourself products. And that's what I did. And I really helped my children who had challenges. One had serious tonsillitis, got sorted. One was starting to develop arthritis, not arthritis, bronchitis, got sorted. And the products helped my mom, who had acute arthritis, okay? And she was meant to go for an operation, which she has never gone for to date. So you need to be the best user. Whether you have money or not, have it as a goal that one day you will benefit. Start out with a small 3NN. Start out with buying a CalMag. Whatever, even if you can't afford, you can take 3 friends and you changa the money for CalMag and you split that and you share. Even the 3NN or something. You start that small if you cannot afford. But if you can afford, please don't spare money and don't take care of your health. So it begins there. Once you do that, have customers. Every day, ask yourself, what if I shared the benefits of calcium to 20 women today or 10 women? We have a lot of information in back office and a lot of information we share as distributors. That information, pick out what are the merits of CalMag from your catalog. Write those points, send the product and the information. You never know who is out there who is hurting and they are looking for this information. And never say we don't have customers. The people we haven't talked to out there are very many. And we have, our products have a niche. They do. That is why the company has stayed strong for the last 62 years. Because the company has been helping many people. And yet there are very many people we haven't reached out to. So you need to have a customer base. Very, very important, by understanding the products. Once you understand the products, you don't have to be a salesperson. You simply give the information. Give people information. People are looking for information. And we are told what you have, you cannot lose. We are also told a candle can never lose its light by lighting somebody else. I imagine the person who told us the business. If they did not tell us, my mother was due for an operation at somewhere in one of these hospitals, I can't remember which one it was, to actually put her ankle together. There was a repair that was to be done. And that helped her. And that was good. My brother and my sister are asthmatic. The products helped them a great deal. They stopped using the inhaler. So there are people out there who are looking, and you just need to share the information. Those who are interested, they will talk. Those who are not interested, I can assure you one day they might have a need. Or they might meet somebody who has a need. And the only person they can think about is you. And they tell that person, please talk to so-and-so. So that's what we do by lighting our candles. Make sure your light is not haijafunikiwa. Even the Bible says don't go and, the light you have, you go and bury it somewhere. No, no, no. You put it up there for people to see. Then the other thing is you might have relatives who can benefit to use and to sell. There's nothing wrong with telling somebody to come and take this as a business to make an extra income, and that extra income, they can save it for a chama, for investments, for their children, for retirement. Guys, we have to think retirement. Our children are not going to take care of us. The chambers for inheritance are becoming smaller and smaller. And if you've lived in town, you might not want to go to the village. What will become of you if you don't save money for your retirement? So we all need to open a retirement account where we throw in some money every month, and we are able to have it grow to take care of us when our bodies cannot take care of us. By the way, South Africans have done that in a big way. Those who started the business in the 70s, I can assure you they're in their 80s. They have millions in their accounts to take care of them. That is something Charlie Bolton taught us when we joined the business. And we ignored, and we thought, huyu mzungu anasema nini? Our immediate need was food, you know? But imagine if we save money starting now, and we have that culture of saving, we will live a more quality life as we age. The other thing is, there are people who just want to come and consume. So if you find a customer who just wants to be a consumer, encourage them to become members to buy at cost. Let me tell you why. If you don't tell them that, tomorrow they'll meet somebody, a neighbor who moves to their place, and ask them, she did not tell you to join? You can buy it cheaper. And they'll think you are a very funny person. So keep giving people that option of becoming members, where they're able to come and become consumers, just wholesale consumers to buy for their own use. Then of course, along the way, you'll get business builders like I. When my sister talked to me about it, maybe she didn't know that I would become a business builder. But as much as I was working in the bank, something triggered to me that I needed a side hustle. Why? When I was working in a branch called Nasiko Coop Bank, the first retrenchment of Coop Bank took two of my friends. They were below 30. They were below 30, and they were retrenched. And that was the most painful thing among us as friends. It devastated us. And I kept asking myself, maybe one day this will happen. So that's how I took the business seriously. And I said, even if it gives me 5,000, 10,000, 20,000, one day if I don't have a job, it can feed my children, you know? And can I tell you something? Even through the hardships of life, the company has been able to take care of me full time for the last 17 years, and I thank God. For the last 17 years, I've not worked for anyone. And I'm not going to stand here and tell you it has been easy, but let me tell you all along the way, it has been fun. Because you're your own boss, you schedule your time, and when you want to overwork, you overwork. When you want to rest, you rest. So it's been great. So if you're here and you're looking at it, you can make it a career option. So there are those benefits you can see there, personal development. Please, when your leaders tell you to read a positive book, just read. Remember, you're the one to benefit from it. When they tell you leadership development, go to the leadership meetings and learn. When they tell you there is international travel, try. One day you'll be on the plane and we go and travel the world. Guys, it's fun to travel the world. I've tested it. I can encourage you. You retire healthy and active, and you build long-lasting relationships. I want to stop it there and tell you there are many other benefits, which I've mentioned. Of course, you attain health and wellness, both physically and financially. Don't ignore the 5,000 extra, the 2,000 extra, the 10,000 extra. Do not ignore that. You achieve your ideal weight, there's extra income. You spend time with your family and friends. I've been able to bring up my children, seeing them much more over the years, which is good. And this COVID season, we spent a lot of time with them. You know, these children one day will go. So I've spent a lot of time with them. They tell me, Mom, siku moja tutaenda. So you need that quality time with your children. Be your own boss. As much as you have another boss, make sure you own your business here and be your own boss. And you boss yourself well. Don't be lazy. Don't be someone who has to be pushed. Please, you must have something within you that will motivate you to work for yourself. Even when the going gets tough, that's fantastic. Challenges are meant to strengthen you. You cannot have good muscles if you don't have some strenuous exercise to strengthen the muscles. So there are people who run away when they get challenges. Please don't run away. Go through the challenge. And you'll be very excited, you'll grow. You can work part-time or full-time. There's recognition over the years. There's personal growth. And you become part of the Neolife family. Please, let's create a family that is conducive. When people come to our teams, we love them, we encourage them, we are true, we have honesty, and we think long-term with them. That's what is expected of us as distributors. I want to stop there, and I want just to give 1 or 2 leaders to actually help us close this session. So as I scroll down, I want to see who I'm going to call to be able to give us a testimony. I can see we have some guests here. Let me see. Just give me a minute. We have Fred Kasia. He is our executive director in East Africa for operations. I think he's the best person for me to call. Fred, I know I have ambushed you. Wherever you are, we will understand. Probably you can give us a closing remark. Fred Kasia, you can hear me? If I can't get him, I will move on and ask Kissinger to close for us. Kissinger is in Nakuru. He's a world team member. Kissinger, you can wrap it up. We don't have a lot of time so that we can finish in the next 6 minutes. Kissinger, please.
Wow, thank you so much, Gladys. That was a very powerful, informative training. And I believe everyone has gotten the information. And I usually tell people, you see, we're out there to make money out of the products. But my message is that someone cannot buy from you what you're not informed about. So what people will buy from you, they're not buying the product, they are buying the information you're giving them. And nobody will ever able to listen to you if you're not giving the correct information. And as somebody says, knowledge is power. Please get knowledge about the products. And I believe if you're serious about getting that knowledge, because somebody says also, money will not make you rich, but knowledge will make you rich. So please, what you need to do is get more knowledge about the products, get more information, attend the trainings. And when you go to explain about the product to somebody will easily buy the product from you. And as I've said, you're not selling the products, we are selling our testimonies and we are selling the information about the products. Otherwise, thank you so much, Gladys, for the good training. I believe everybody has learned. I can see Fred has raised his hand. Please, can Fred close the meeting? Kasia.
Fred, please. Fred will be more than happy to have you to close for us the session.
Well, Gladys, good evening. How are you?
Fine, thank you.
Well, yeah, truly that is an ambush, but all the same, I'm truly humbled for this opportunity to have an opportunity to talk to the team, and quite amazing stuff that you've done. The training was awesome, and we truly want to thank you so much for such a wonderful training. And also for Kissinger for those closing remarks. And mine is just to really thank each one of you for your participation in this meeting and buying out time from your schedule this evening to participate in this incredible meeting. And I believe what has been taught is quite important, because they say that if there is no product movement, no one gets paid. And that is what network marketing is. So as you move, as you create network, you have opportunities to move products, and as you move products and volumes, then everybody gets paid. And I think that is what, Gladys, you've highlighted and affirmed this evening. And I would like to encourage each one of us to continue taking advantage of these incredible products that we have, and continue to truly support your teams down from the lower levels coming up. And when we motivate them downwards, then we also get upward motivation. And I believe each one of us, if we do our part, taking advantage of the 3 daily success habits, using the product, sharing the products, sharing the opportunity with your team leaders, and also on your personal growth, I believe you're going to build a solid business. And that's what Neo Life is. And I just want to encourage each one of us to take advantage of those avenues that have been highlighted this evening. Commit yourself to be the CEO of your business and take personal responsibility of your personal teams, of your personal growth. And if you do that, I believe Neo Life Kenya is going to really continue to be affirmed as a force to reckon in Kenya. And your team leaders, those below you, as you head somewhere as a leader, they are going not just to follow you, but they're going to be indeed become like you. You duplicate yourself, they duplicate themselves downwards, 3 levels, 6 levels, up to 14 levels. And I believe if you do so, we're going to build an incredible business. So I just want to wish you all the best for the remaining part of this month. And I believe you're going to achieve your dreams and continue to building a very strong desire, which we've been helped to see. It's what creates success. If you have that strong desire, it is a fuel that will create a lot of success, not just for yourself, but for the people that you lead. Thank you so much, Gladys, and the rest of the team. Enjoy your evening, and may God bless you in all that you are doing. Thank you.
Thank you so much. In closing, I can see we have people. Let me appreciate we have some people I can see from Uganda. I have a young team coming up from Uganda. I can see them on the call. Please never forget to invite your people from the other countries, whether it's South Sudan, whether it's in the US, encourage them to be part of this, because they also have relatives here, or you could spread your tentacles out there in other nations. So I want to welcome those ones. Then there's someone who asked a question about migraine. It is important to get from the doctor what that could be, but meanwhile, for migraine, it could be maybe you have too much toxins in your body. So you could think of encouraging that person to do a detox, and also take good omega-3 mind enhancement, so that it can help alleviate the pain that they go through, because a headache can quite be a challenge. So it could be a case of toxins. It could be a case of where they need some omega-3 to calm that down and mind enhancement. You could try that even as you work together with your doctor. And then you make sure you take a lot of water and reduce junk completely. Take a lot of water because it will help you flush out maybe some of the toxins that could be affecting you. And make sure you are sleeping well. Don't have unstable sleeping habits. Make sure you have good sleep so that you can be able to repair your body to get back to normal. I hope that will help. So for me and from the other leaders, we just want to say thank you. We are supposed to finish this training by 9, and it's 9 on the dot. Thank you very much. God bless you. Let's meet again next week on Tuesday, because the team, our team, the East African Eagles team, we train distributors every Tuesday at lunchtime. And those who cannot attend the lunchtime meeting, they attend the evening, 8 to 9. And then, of course, the rest of us have other meetings that we do that will help us learn presentation skills. Don't fear to run your own training, and ask your sponsor to help you, so that you also learn how to do Zoom meetings to your own teams. Do not fear. As long as you have a phone, you can be able to do a meeting. God bless you. And let's see you again, maybe next week. But of course, the other trainings that we will share the links. Thank you very much.